day 2 after I'd been driving around it.
Carjacked?
She's like, oh, don't stop at night because you'll get carjacked.
You're like, don't stop at stoplights where you're supposed to stop?
Yeah, it's a real thing. You don't have, like, you stop for half a second, make sure no one's coming, and then just go
California
through.
stop.
Yeah, just yield.
Wow.
There you go. But
Great
beautiful.
tip. Saving lives.
Stay in tourist areas.
Yikes. Okay, so now normally, Eve, when we do these big ideas, we'd say, hey, come up with a slide deck, get one slide for the pain point, kind of sell the story. But obviously we're blindsiding you here, so we don't expect that. But if you do want to set the stage a little bit for your idea and then kind of wow us over, we'd love that.
Okay. So, a few months ago, back in July, I was hiking in Glacier National Park.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Which is
Love Glacier.
gorgeous. I love it. I love everything about it. But there's no cell service. The only time you have Wi-Fi is if you're staying at like one of the hotels.
So you wouldn't want to bring like a skull crusher ski mask?
I know, and an icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
Skull crusher.
Probably not work. So I had this idea of what if, so I have an Apple Watch as well, and I love my Apple Watch, and I use it to track like workouts and all sorts of things. So I had this idea of what if there was an app that I could have on my phone, and I could download like maps of the trails that I want to be hiking for the day and download them to my watch. So I can leave my phone because obviously my phone's not going to do me much good, but I can still have it on my watch and I can still kind of pull it up and see where I'm going. And then my second part of that is I could leave as I download it, I can leave kind of a note that says, this is the trail that I'm going to be taking today.
Yeah.
Because how many people do you hear about every year that get lost
on hiking trails?
on hiking trails?
Yeah.
And if I can, if it can ping GPS every so often while I'm on that trail, you can kind of see where this person is.
Yeah.
Is Eve dead on this trail?
Exactly.
Or did a bear happen upon me
Yeah.
and
Thus.
get real aggressive?
Thus. I mean, you could still be alive for all you know. But
Exactly. I mean, we've all seen the
It's really
Revenant.
uncharted.
You've killed the bear, clearly.
Why do I feel like this is not the first
my
time we've
bear.
talked about bear attacks on this? I feel like it's really not.
So at first I was like, okay, a little lukewarm, because you got to think there's something. But I think that second bit, I love that.
Yeah.
The idea of
like checking in.
yeah, like
This is my trail.
So it's specifically for trails, and the idea is like you pick the trails you're gonna hike, and you put the day in which you're gonna hike them, and so it like notifies, and maybe you have some sort of like network that's like,
Or
No, yeah,
as
definitely.
as you're going and you have it on your watch and you pull up, this is the trail, and you click start
yeah.
so that they know, oh, this
When
is the
you
trail that she
went,
started on.
yeah.
Where is she now?
Yeah, I think what would be cool is one, the element of like download maps. That makes sense. That's like something people need and people would want. Two, a safety element, which is like check in, say what you're doing that day, your trail, whatever.
Yeah.
And then three is the social network piece, like Strava, isn't that what it's called? Where it's like runners like share their run that day, and like people are obsessed with this app and runners love it. Same kind of concept as like hikers, and maybe they want to share
Like
their hikes.
dump
and,
the pictures that they took at the top.
Yep,
of the,
exactly.
the mountain.
And then you go through and there's like a discovery element. It's like, okay, I'm in Glacier. Show me hikes on this social networking app. And then you're going through like real pictures that people took that day or that week, and you know kind of what it's like and
Yeah.
if it's worth it, and they're rating how hard it is and like all this stuff that
It would be sweet if you could like catalog pictures, almost like a timeline as they're going, like, oh, that's a good view here, or here's a good, I saw an animal here, a moose here, like kind of in this area, and like you could like plop it on this thing. So as you're going through, like, oh, this looks like on this trail, lots of people have seen animals.
Yeah.
I do or don't want to go on this trail now, or like,
and
there's
it
lots of
grabs
scenic-
like your activity data, and it gets like a real like how long does it take?
yeah,
Right? Something
Yeah.
people wonder.
on average, this takes people who use
Yep.
this app.
How hard is it? How difficult is it? Like,
Well, and the other thing is if you could set up kind of a profile of yourself and say, I'm a beginner, this is how long it took me. And you can look at other beginners, see how long it took
because
them.
that stuff exists now, but it's in these like horrible national park websites that like If you've ever tried to find a hike, it just isn't as easy as it sounds.
Oh, it never is.
Even I remember I was in Hawaii and we were like, oh, let's go on some hikes, and it was just complicated enough. I was like, this should be easier.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes here for hikes. Like this shouldn't be like I'm really having to dig to like figure out. Yeah, and there were, a good situation, and this could help with this is like in Hawaii, weather is something where it's like if it rained the night before, like you cannot go on some hikes. It's like too muddy, and so we like went to this one hike, and it was like, oh, maybe it's not so bad, and like it was literally impossible.
Yeah.
We made it like 100 yards in, and we're just wading through this like thick mud, and we're seeing people coming down. They're like, don't even try it. Like just covered in mud. They'd slipped halfway up, and we had like
how cool if the app like you could say
it popped up and like it was synced with weather or something like that. It's like, hey, there's a good chance you might be conditions might change the the enjoyment of this hike or something.
Well, and if you're seeing a lot of activity on one trail, and you kind of want a more secluded day,
that's a good idea too.
You can also kind of gauge, am I going to see a bunch of people that I really just don't want to interact with?
Everyone's hiking the Y right now. I'm going to go hike the Spanish Fork.
Hot Pots.
Hot Pots.
What is it? It's called something. I just did it.
Donut Falls.
Is it here?
Yeah.
In Salt Lake?
It's like Fifth Springs, Fifth.
No, I don't know my hikes that well.
Not a hiker. Couldn't tell you.
I do hike sometimes. A lot. Like 6 years ago, I hiked a lot. Oh my God.
There was a time in Andre's life.
Yes, where I was a little more hiking than
I love it. I think to what Andre said, like I think you like breaking it down to like these three key areas of like there's a safety element, there's a convenience element, there's a social element, and like kind of focusing on those three things and making it just like a really intuitive. And like you start with like the 10 most popular, Glacier and Banff and and Zion's and like all these places where people are already going anyway.
Good idea. Yeah. And I think that the time is right, where it's like a lot of people. It feels like hiking is kind of reaching a.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think
it's hot right now.
Well, I think self improvement, self care, exercise. These things are becoming much more mainstream and much more like that's that's what we should be doing right now. Is like getting back in the outdoors. So having like a really cool.
Okay. Strava kind of proves the whole concept.
Totally. Yeah. Here's the question: is monetization? Do you pay to be a part of the service? Do you pay $20 to get it? Do you pay?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like a 90s like .com boomer because every single time this comes up, I'm like, just put an ad on it. And I kind of think that you just put an ad on it, maybe.
For hiking gear and
like you got a good market, you got a captive audience. The same way that how does Facebook make money? Ads. This is to me is like kind of a hiking social network situation.
I wonder how Strava makes money. I think that's probably your best.
True. I think Strava has a membership plan.
I think
like a premium offering is not a bad idea. Of like, so level 1 is just like the basic stuff, and then like a premium version, which is $3 a month or something like that.
So I'm thinking, maybe there's a basic version that has all the like top 10 most popular hikes in national parks, right?
But then
if you want to add on to that and get the more backwoods trails, and if you want to get state parks as well, and you want to get national forests and state.
Totally.
All that fun stuff. I think people would pay to add on.
Yeah.
Or if they want to just try it out for, if you're wanting to do just a pretty basic hike in a national park, it's usually going to be in the top 10.
Totally.
Download it for free. Try it. See if you like it.
I'm into it. Andre, that's
good idea.
Andre, let's say Romeo Butters, he just wired us $1 million. We have to come to a decision here. How much we're going to invest into this idea here.
How much? $1 million?
$1 million. We got $1 million.
Yeah.
I think my gut right now is saying $500K.
Yeah, I think $500K should be enough to stand up a prototype that works at Glacier.
Yeah.
Right? Let's test the idea. Do people use the app? Do people like the app? Do people want to connect with other people?
Can we see some returns? Can we see like a an actual growth model?
And then if so,
we
do another park for another amount, and you
drop the other $500K in marketing and for it's awesome stuff. So you got $500,000, Eve.
Yes.
Big.
That's big time. Or thieves out there, if you're listening, steal it.
Steal it.
Take it.
Eve just teed it up for you.
Steal this idea.